All right, it is now time for the Week 3 Fantasy Show. We have some newer people in the show this week. Ernie, glad you could make it, as well as Pook. Let's real quickly
Oh,
go
I was here
over.
last week.
I know, but you weren't here all the other weeks. That's why I said as well
Hey,
as Pook.
why are you calling him out? Calling him out?
I'm not calling them out. I'm saying we have people here. That's great. Anyways,
Okay, buddy. All right.
into week 4, what happened last week. As you can see on the matchups here, we're not going to spend too many time with these, but there was some decent high scoring matchups, and then there was some low scoring matchups. A little bit better though than the previous week. I defeated Slaps 100 to 94. Another lower win week for my team, but I will take it to move to 3-1. Slaps falls to 1-3 in that dreaded 1-3 battle for last place at the moment. Another rough week for Slaps as his team did not really perform. Neither really did my team, as I had a couple injuries with Adams being out, and then I started Watson, and he got me a goose egg. So that's 2 weeks in a row I've had a goose egg from one of my flexes, but somehow overcome that and get the victory. Luckily, I was playing Slaps and Matt's team the last 2 weeks, who aren't playing very well right now. But then Slaps did make a trade, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes. So GG's to Slaps. Unlucky that his Laporta on Monday night couldn't come through big enough for him to overtake me. Anybody want to make any comments on this matchup?
You're not live on Discord.
Oh,
Who
shit.
played?
Me and Slaps. Thank you, Ernie.
Toilet bowl.
It was a
I
toilet
mean,
bowl matchup. You
toilet
are
bowl,
not
nothing's
wrong there.
expected, nothing crazy.
You aren't wrong there. It was one of the toilet bowl matchups. Only 100 points wins it. Moving on, though, to one that was not a toilet bowl matchup. Rat versus Zach in a battle of, what, the two highest scoring totals by a long shot on the week. 150 to 142. Rat picks up a much needed win to avoid going 1-3. His team performed and they did just enough to overtake Zach. Unlucky for Zach as he scores 142 points. Would it be anybody else this week? But unfortunately, the luck was not on Zach's side as he was facing the one guy that scored more than him. Falls to 1-3 doesn't seem like too fair of a record for how Zach's team has played so far this year. Should be at least 2-2, but unlucky for Zach. Zach, your comments after another unlucky loss where your team performed pretty well.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Okay. Well, as we know, fantasy is 50% luck, and unfortunately, you have not had the luck on your side so far this year, but plenty of weeks left. I think your team is looking much better than some other teams, and I don't think you have to worry too much about last place at the moment, even though you are in a tie for last place. Anybody else want to make any comments on this matchup?
I would
GG,
have
Zach,
killed
I won.
myself if I was in that matchup.
What's that, Pook?
Wow.
I would have killed myself if I was
Oh,
in that matchup against either of them. Scoring 140 and still losing. Unlucky.
So fucking.
very unlucky. Rat, I'm sure you're happy about the win and how your team performed.
GG, Zach, I won.
He did win. Nico Collins, big shout out. Both your running backs scored 20 plus. Huge games from all of them.
Actually, I will make a comment.
Okay.
Last week at the show, I said Nico Collins was scoring 35, and he disappointed me. He only put up
Your
33.
prediction was not accurate. He did not score 35.
I was disappointed.
Okay.
This is giving me 2020 election vibes. We need a recount.
Recount.
Recount. All right. Well, maybe you can get Sleeper to recount Zach's total. All right, moving on to the next matchup. This one, Matt picks up a huge victory, his first of the season. His team actually showed some life. He makes a trade and it comes through in big time for him. 122 to 110 over Tyler. Tyler a little bit more of a respectable week, got over 100, but falls now to 1-3, same record as Matt now, and is in the cellar on points for. Tyler is. So rough start of the season for Tyler. He went with Trevor Lawrence, who once again, I think this is now the fourth week in a row, he started the wrong quarterback, as Geno Smith had more. Not that it mattered, because it wouldn't have been enough for him to win, but keeps starting the wrong quarterback each week. Singletary really let him down on Thursday night. On Matt's side, he overcame a horrible quarterback play. We all told Matt to play Justin Fields last week on the show. We all couldn't understand why he was playing Richardson against Pittsburgh. And that move, he's lucky to still win because Justin Fields had 31 huge points on the bench. He calls Justin Fields the young Cam Newton, yet he doesn't seem to ever start the young Cam Newton. So I don't understand. But he overcame that bad mistake with Derrick Henry, the trade, obviously, which we'll talk about in a minute. Big trade that Matt made, what kind of like one of the first big trades where he traded away his top draft pick. Got Derrick Henry, who performed huge for him. Obviously, he's a Derrick Henry fan. Who else did he get? He got a Cooper who had a long touchdown reception called back, or else he would have got into double digits as well. So overall, that Derrick Henry won him this week. We'll see if it can keep winning him weeks in the future, as he'll need to stack some wins here. We'll see if he can go on a run. Anyone want to make any comments on this matchup?
My lock of the week, Matt. What?
Yeah.
That might be the difference between last place and second last place right there.
Who played
What,
Matt?
the
and who?
trade? Matt and Tyler. Zach,
Dog
thank you
shit.
for following along. What do you mean?
Yeah,
The trade might.
Those
be
two
the,
are finishing last.
Oh,
No,
you're
this
saying- okay,
matchup.
So this is a matchup of what's to come for the rest of the season between
Yeah.
them two battling it out for last. Okay.
And the tiebreaker might come down to this matchup.
Well, yeah, very well could. We'll see. They're both 1-3 at the moment, so we'll see if either of them can stack some wins going forward.
They're not hitting 4 wins.
No, neither of them, huh?
Mm-mm.
Wow, strong comments. Okay, I like it. I like that prediction. We will see though. Moving on to the next matchup, another lower scoring toilet bowl type of matchup as Cheese just refuses to lose. 4-0 now on the season, picks up a 104-80. So a lot of people did predict that maybe Cheese's last week that Cheese's team might come back down to earth this week, and it did. However, Bill's team just fell off the cliff with only scoring 80 points. Josh Allen. It seems like Josh Allen either goes off for 30 or he gets single digits. We kind of expected Josh Allen to struggle a little more against Baltimore, but not 7.3 points. Although Cheese, once again, starts the wrong quarterback. I think him and Tyler are going for a battle on who can start the wrong quarterback in more weeks. He declared Kyler Murray would be in his lineup for the future, and now he's already went back on that the other day and declared Jaden Daniels will be in his lineup for the future no matter what happens, as Jaden Daniels had 24 huge points on the bench and looked great once again. Obviously, the story for Cheese, we finally get to deal an injury to Cheese's team. We've been all asking for it, as all of us have had to deal with injuries,
Thank
and Cheese has
God.
had a perfect team. Not anymore, as thanks to Patrick Mahomes taking out Rashid Rice, his racer's knees bent backwards and did not look good on the cart and dropped
How
a
did
goose
that
egg.
happen, Golfer?
By Patrick Mahomes.
Can
like I said.
can I make
Great
a
There's
good
a
interception
rumor
by
that
Patrick
was Mahomes'
Mahomes.
dad.
Can I
He
make
was
a
drunk
good
out there with
comment?
the
Yes,
cart.
go ahead.
Bill is a fucking idiot because he said
Yes.
I will start timeshare Madison over timeshare Walker
Yeah,
don't care
that
if you're
was a
fucking-
huge
What
move.
does that have to do with the speed?
because Bill lost against Cheese because he didn't start Walker.
Yeah, he would have
over.
won, right? Well,
He
let's
would have
see,
won.
6.
Cheese, yes,
Yeah,
27,
he would have gained 27. Yeah,
and
it cost him.
they're both in a timeshare.
I was saying it on Monday night every time Walker ran for another huge run or touchdown. I just kept saying, why would you trade for somebody and then not start him? It's not like he was a game time decision. I get it if he was a game time decision, you didn't know he was playing. But they announced on Thursday that he was going to be good to go this week, and yet I get
His excuse was timeshare, but
Timeshare.
Madison's in a timeshare
But
with
you just
Zamir
gotta.
White also.
I mean, Walker's a way better running back than Madison, and Madison's in a timeshare as well. So what are we doing, Bill? I don't know, but it cost him because now he's 1-3. That mistake looms big time as Cheese goes to 4-0 and survives and gets a little lucky with Bill, as we said, making a big mistake. All right, moving on to the next matchup, we had Ernie getting his first loss of the
We could
season
skip this
at the
one.
hands of Zombie in one of the tightest
I'll be
matchup of
right
the
back.
week.
I ain't
We
watching
could
this.
skip this right now.
108.7 to
I'll be right back.
109.74. Zombie moves to 4-0, not Ernie. It looked like Ernie had 4-0 in the bag on Monday Night Football, and then his boy Calvin Ridley drops a 2.5, can only get 1 catch on 3 targets and 1 carry for 10 yards. Needed another catch at the end of the game. Never got it because the Titans were up and were just running the ball. Even on 3rd and long, they were running the ball. Kyle Pitts dropping a goose egg as well. Shout out to Kyle Pitts letting Ernie down. He did start Braylon Allen, as we all told him on the show last week. He should start Braylon Allen against Zombies Brees Hall in a battle of Jets running backs. And Ernie actually won on that battle. 5.6 for Braylon Allen and only 3.8 for the number 2 overall pick in the draft, Brees Hall. Rough game for him and rough game for the Jets all around on offense. As we already said, Mahomes, mediocre point total, but he injures Cheese's player, so we love that. Overall, Ernie, your comments after picking up your first loss. I know you hate losing to Zombie of all people.
I mean, that guy's nah. You know what? No comment.
No comment.
I believe I should have got a point from that injury. Mahomes should have got an extra point for injuring that player, but
For a tackle, a point per tackle.
yeah, for that great tackle. I'll let it slip by.
Yeah. Well, you
No
would have
comment,
needed
comment.
1.05 points for that tackle, because 1 point you still would have lost by 0.04. But I get what you're saying.
I mean,
yeah.
we could use the commissioner powers and swap a certain, few players.
As
If the
much as
league
I love it
approves.
that your quarterback injured Cheese's player, I can't unfortunately do that.
I will
Zombie
say
picks up
something though.
another lucky win. Yes, go ahead, Rat.
Ernie's got the future RB1 of the Jets because Brees Hall got fucked and Allen outscored Brees Hall.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
Brees Hall.
mean, we all clowned Ernie a lot on the show a couple weeks ago for Braylon Allen for spending all that money when nobody else bid on him. And although it still isn't a great waiver move to spend $51 on someone that nobody else bids on, I mean, he hasn't looked bad the last 2 weeks. I mean, he's been involved. I mean, he got 8 carries, got a reception. I mean, they seem to be using him a lot more than I thought they would. And Brees Hall's kind of getting it's looking a little bit more of a timeshare than I think a lot of people are thinking. And for the number 2 overall running back to be drafted, you don't want to see a guy like Braylon Allen stealing a bunch of snaps. So even though Zombie probably won't admit it, he's got to be a little bit concerned with Braylon Allen. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, congrats to Zombie, big win for him. Both these teams, though, still looking pretty good, even though they scored kind of lower scoring weeks. And then moving on to the final matchup of the week. This was probably one of the best matchups point-wise, as both teams performed pretty good. But Pook stacks back-to-back wins, gets a big win over Pusa, sending Pusa to 1-3. All of us bettors against Pusa love to see that, and we're rooting for Pook. Pook wins 133 to 123. Obviously, Pook said a lot about the Darnold Trump, and he came through big time, just like he's going to in this election, with 20 huge points again. Continues to look really good as the Vikings are 4-0, big win over the Packers. He traded for Bijan Robinson, as we will talk about in a minute. Didn't really have that great of a game, but he did have a touchdown called back. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Jacobs with 11. Jefferson continued to do his thing, so the Darnold Trump to JJ looking pretty good. Keenan Allen came back and played, and, I guess we'll look for next week for Keenan Allen to look a little bit better. He only got 3 targets. You don't usually see that. Chuba Hubbard, though, continues to look very good. Sneaky guy that not many people were really had on the radar, and he's had some big weeks the last few weeks. And Scary Terry looks to be back as well with 10 targets. So overall, Pook's team is starting to rise a little bit. We all said it after the first 2 weeks, or I said it after the first 2 weeks when people were trashing Pook's team. This always happens with Pook's team. They start out slow, and then some players start to rise. So we'll see if he can continue the momentum with 2 straight wins now. On Pusa's side, rough to lose with 123 considering what some other teams scored and won with. So some unfortunate for him. The luck of the Irish is not on his side at the moment. But at the same time, Stevenson is a big question mark, which he traded away, which we'll talk about. He did get a good game from Deontay Johnson. I got to give him credit for that. I was skeptical of that guy, but he had a big game. And Marvin Harrison Jr. continued to look good. Overall, solid. Overall, no one really stood out as a horrible performance from Pusa, but it wasn't quite enough to overtake Pook on this week, and he now falls to 1-3 and a tie for last place. So these next few weeks are going to be big for Pusa and some other people that are 1-3. Pook, your comments after the big win now, 2 in a row against Pusa.
Pusa just couldn't reach high enough to get the win, unfortunately.
Is that
a short comment? I like what you did there.
I guess it was.
Save the Pusa slander for later.
Good
Okay,
job.
yeah, we'll save
That
for
is
that.
true.
Anybody else want to make any comments on this matchup before we move on?
Good
GG's.
job to my boy
All
Pook.
right. Yes, we love. I am rooting for everybody that Pusa plays every week this season. All right, looking at the standings real quick, a little bit of the standings start to take form a little bit. You know, last week was very weird with 3 undefeated teams and only one other team over 500. Now we get some more teams in there with only 2 undefeated teams left. Zombie and Cheese battling it out at the top. Ernie falls to 3-1 with myself at 3-1. Then we have 2 teams at 2-2, Rat and Pook. And then the final playoff spot at the moment would go to Zach as the highest points for 1-3 team. Pusa, though, right behind him. Bill, Matt, Slaps, and Tyler now is currently in dead
Golfer,
last.
can we click on my team, please?
Okay, why?
Does Sleepers say my points for and points
Buddy,
against position?
I don't have to click on your team. It's right here. I just said you have the highest points for of the 1-3 teams, and higher than some teams that are above
Nope.
you.
There's a stat I'd like to say that
Okay.
I see on my phone,
The
but I don't
points
see it here.
against. Are you trying? Is that what you want to get to?
My
You
points
have-
for, I have the 5th most points scored in the league.
Yes,
And the points against, I have the 1st most points against in the fucking league, which is some fucking bullshit. I should be
And
better.
as I've told you now for 5
I
times
have the
this
third and
week
the
that you've
second.
been
What's your
bitching
point?
about,
Go fuck
fantasy
yourself,
is
Big.
50%.
What's your point? I'm just asking.
My point is you're
50%.
2-2. Go fuck yourself. I should be better than 1-3.
Okay, well, Zach, you just keep on. The thing is, if you just keep on chugging with these type of lines, eventually over time, the stats will correct themselves and
I
you will
almost
start
dropped an
winning
F-bomb
some more
right there. I had to
matchups.
control myself.
Yeah, you just got to keep plugging along, Zach. You'll get some fortune. You'll play some of these teams below you that you haven't really played yet. And
I haven't played any of them.
Yeah, and so your wins are coming. Don't just hang in there. You're in a better position now than you were last year at this time. So
By one game.
just relax. All right. Looking real quick at waivers for this past week, we had a little bit of spending, but kind of a slower week of waivers as waivers start to slow down a bit. We're all waiting to see if a big time guy will come. We've already had some big time spenders, but they haven't really shown out as future Puka Nakuas or other players, but we'll see. Rat picks up Tucker Kraft, the tight end from Green Bay, for $18 bid. Slaps bid 7, so he overpaid slightly, but gets a tight end that he probably needs. What is your tight end on buy?
Well, now, Brock Bowers is my tight end. I have Love, but I just wanted to hold on to him. But it was funny because at 5:30 in the morning, I got a DM asking why I bid 18 on Kraft, and that was fun because Slaps was pitching me at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay, so
But, yeah.
so Slaps was upset that you outbid him by that much.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what would have made him more upset is if you bid 8 and he bid 7.
True.
So you still overpaid. That doesn't try to negate the overpay. But anyways, so are you playing Tucker Kraft this week instead of Brock Bowers?
Some weeks I will be playing Kraft.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Wait. So you got a DM from Slaps asking why you
Why
blocked
he
him
bid
when you're
so
playing
much.
him?
Yes.
Slaps
Yes.
is stupid.
All right. Then we had Ernie, who bid $12 on Juju Smith-Schuster, the Kansas City wide receiver. Obviously, we'll see if he steps up with the Rashee Rice injury. No other bids, so a bit of an overpay, but
He's going to be useless when my cheetah goes back to the Chiefs.
Ernie, your comments on this? Anything you'd like to add on this?
Juju will do great, just like his TikToks. He might outperform Chiefs Tyreek Hill. That was. So I'm not really worried. That is my new wide receiver one.
Okay. Ernie, any comments while you're here of you have now spent about $63 of your 100 fab on guys that nobody else has put a single dollar on. Any comments you'd like to make on your waiver strategy this year?
Yeah, I'm making sure. I expect a COVID funding by the commissioner.
COVID's over, buddy. There's no COVID. There's no stimulus check.
Give us
There is a
month. Give
And
us a
You
stimulus.
can make a
is this?
trade. You can make a trade with somebody to get a stimulus package of fab if you would like to do that.
DM.
Yeah, there you go. Zach will send you a stimmy. He'll send you one. All right.
Yeah.
Then a bunch of no name, nobody really cares. She's got a kicker, so he continues his cycle of picking up kickers that he says is the new kicker, and then they don't end up being the kicker. I had to change kickers as mine's on a bye, and Bill picks up Kate Otten for $0 drop Cole Kmet, which didn't he spend quite a bit on Cole Kmet last week? I think he did, if I remember.
He spent 23.
Yeah, so he spent 23 and then just drops him.
23, holy
Then he just
shit.
drops him the very next week. Bill has also been a little bit of a question mark this year on waiver. He throws that cash out there like it's nothing. As Ernie pointed out last week, he bid on a player and then a couple days later dropped him.
Andy Dalton for $2.
Yeah, so he's been a little bit iffy as well. Not just Ernie with some of his fab spending. It's also been Bill a little bit. And then Tyler gets the Jets kicker and drops the Eagles one. Seems like nobody wants the Eagles one this year. All right, so that's waivers.
Buy too.
Yeah, they're also on buy. Real quick, looking at the trades, we did have our most active week of trading as the season plugs along. It gets a little more interesting. Some people start panicking a little bit. Starting with last week, the big one, as I talked about, Matt making a trade as he was in dead last with Pook. Pook gets Bijan Robinson, obviously Matt's top overall draft pick. And gets Bijan and trades away Amari Cooper and Derrick Henry. We all know Derrick Henry popped off this past week. So good trade on the short term for Matt as it helped him win the week. Over long term, we'll see if Henry can keep putting up those numbers or if Bijan's kind of just been mediocre so far this year. So Pook may be buying a little bit low on Bijan, which could be good for in the future. Pook, your comments, anything you'd like to make on the trade?
I need these motherfuckers to stop holding on his touchdowns.
Yeah. Does it not concern you at all that you made that big splash in the draft with Bijan last year and he kind of fucked you over all season? And now you've gone back to the well.
The entire reason I picked him.
Oh,
I wanted
you want
him
redemption.
this year. I would have picked him in the first round, but Matt took him one before me.
Ah, okay. So you wanted to re-pick him for the redemption. All right. We'll see if he can step it up, start getting some, higher tier 20-point games. We'll see what happens with that. But right now, at the moment, decent trade for Matt to try to get him out of the cellar. We had a trade between Rat and Tyler. This was also kind of a big one, as Rat got Chris Olave and Roschon Johnson for Pickens, Rat's boy, who he's been hyping up nonstop this year, George Pickens. He just trades them away just like that. Jerome Ford and Josh Downs. Overall, I like this trade for Rat. He bought, I guess you could say, a little bit low on Chris Olave. There was an injury concern for Olave, but he did end up playing, and he played, I think, pretty well. On Pickens' side, Pickens, decent flex option, pretty good wide receiver. We'll see what happens with the trade talks of Devontae Adams. If Pittsburgh adds a receiver, that could hurt Pickens a little bit. And then Ford, getting rid of Ford, who Rat's been trying to give away nonstop to every single person at nauseum. He finally found somebody to trade him away to and gets Roschon Johnson in return. I don't know if that will pan out anything. But the big boys, Chris Olave, Rat, your comments on this trade?
Best receiver in the package, and Nick Chubb's back soon, so
Okay.
fuck Jerome Ford.
All right.
And Pickens is still my boy. I'll just watch him from the sidelines.
Okay, so you'll just root for Pickens on the sideline.
Yep.
Have you played Tyler already?
This week.
Oh, so
We'll
Pickens
get beat
can
by
pop off
Olave.
against you this week.
Good.
Uh-huh. All right, and then we won't spend too much time on this one. Tyler Algier for Tyson Chandler. What is this? I guess Pook gets his handcuff, and Pusa doesn't have the.
No, Aaron Zombie does.
Yeah, so why did Pusa want Tyson Chandler?
Probably he's gonna trade
Oh.
to Zombie. I don't know.
I
just
wish
needed
Pusa
the
was here
cuff.
so we could ask him why he just gave away a cuff for basically
I
free.
needed the cuff because Bijan
Yeah.
was questionable.
No, it's a great
up
trade
until
for you.
today.
You get the cuff for free. That's I'm trying to understand from Pusa's standpoint why the fuck he would want Tyson Chandler. But all right.
Who knows?
And then the final trade, big one. I think this one will have some opinions. Slaps makes a deal with Pusa. When I got this notification on my phone before I opened Sleeper, I said, "Oh fuck," because I just thought that Slaps was going to take some panic trade that blow up his team and Pusa was going to rape him. I didn't think there would be no way that I would see this type of deal that actually. I kind of like Slaps' end. He gets Brandon Ayuk, who he bought a little bit on the low, as Ayuk has not had a good season so far. Gibson, who now maybe is somewhat in there with maybe Stevenson being benched. And Harrison, who I really love, obviously Marvin Harrison. Pusa, who's been hyping up Harrison, trades him away. On Pusa's side, he gets the injured A.J. Brown, who won't be back for a couple weeks with bye. But obviously we know he's a good player when he plays. Zeke Elliott, which is basically a throwaway at this point. Rashad White, who does he have the cuff? Does he have the other guy?
No, Zombie does, so maybe
So
he's
he
gonna
doesn't
trade
have.
Zombie cuff for cuff.
So he's gonna trade. Well, he would be trading. Oh,
You
okay.
just trade
So he's gonna
Chandler.
trade
Well,
Chandler for.
Rashad White is the cuff.
But if you're Zombie, why would? I don't know if Zombie's gonna do that.
We
'Cause
will
he thinks that I'm sure Zombie, knowing Zombie, thinks that Tampa Bay wide receiver is on the come up to maybe take Rashad White's job, where Chandler has no chance of taking.
I
Aaron
just want to
Jones'
make a
job.
comment. Well, actually, go to the trade and I'll make a comment.
And then Zay Flowers, who I guess is also kind of a buy low candidate, so they both trade struggling wide receivers. Zay Flowers, I was really worried he was going to pop off against me this weekend. He only had like 2 targets and did not. It was a running game for Baltimore, so that hurts Flowers when they get on the running game with Lamar and Henry. It's tough for Flowers. But overall, I am going to take I'm going to take Slaps to slightly win this trade long term. I think Harrison and Ayuk will start stepping it up. Running backs are kind of meh. I don't know from either side if any of those running backs are going to be too big. All right, Pook, what were you going to say?
I am just going to say that Poose's numbers have him as the best team in the league after this trade. So maybe he's using his numbers again. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. So yeah,
that's the only
he's
explanation
got to be
for this
using those
trade.
numbers. If that's wow, that's hard hitting news right there. His numbers have him number 1 after this trade. All right. I wish Pusa was here so he could respond to that. Pusa, if you watch this later, we'd like a response to that allegation in the chat. You know, you tried to accuse Cheese the other day of using numbers when it seems like maybe you're still using the numbers based on this trade. Anybody else want to make a comment on this big trade?
I like that trade for Slabs.
Yeah.
Wins it.
I like
Yeah.
the trade for Slabs too. I
Yeah.
don't know what Pusa's doing. It seems like he's ducking the show because his team's just gone in the absolute.
I look at
shitter.
it
Yeah.
as a 4 for 2 because I don't value Elliott at all, and I don't value Rashad White at all. So
Okay.
Elliott's like garbage, and Rashad White is garbage. So,
Mm.
and Marvin Harrison Jr. is basically performing like AJ Brown. Ayuk, I think, can be better than Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens going forward. A little bit of sign for life. Maybe Slaps will calm down a little bit now that he got a trade through that some people like for him. Maybe he'll see. Maybe he'll start working out for him a little bit more, and we'll see what happens with that moving forward. All right, moving into week 5 then, as we look at the matchups for this upcoming week. We'll start at the top. My matchup versus Bill, battle of 3-1 versus 1-3. Bill really needs this win to kind of get back on track in this season, or it could go a little south. Right now, Sleeper has him projected to win 113 to 112, so a close matchup. Bill has Josh Allen looking for a bounce back game against Houston at Houston. Something tells me that game might be a little bit of a shootout, especially after how Allen looked last week. So that worries me a bit. Connor against San Francisco. We'll see. Should be decent. San Fran's defense has not looked as great. Kenneth Walker against the Giants. Obviously, I'm extremely worried about my boy who I just traded last week, putting up a big one against me, but he did just pop off this past week, so maybe the Giants somehow try to stop him. I don't know. Godwin on Thursday night against Atlanta, so he does have a player tomorrow night. JSN against the Giants, great matchup as well. So, and my boy that I traded, so great matchup for Bill's 2 guys that he traded from me. I'm gonna have to dodge huge games from them. McBride, assuming he plays against the 49ers as well. Dobbs in there in the flex against the Rams. And Xavier Worthy on Monday night, so he does have a Monday night player. And Worthy you would expect to see increased targets now with Rashee Rice out and Prater against the Giants. So he's got a lot of players from same games: Giants, Seahawks, 49ers, Cardinals. On my side, Purdy against those Cardinals. James Cook in there against Houston, obviously his worst game of the season last week as he did not get those goal line carries. The one time Buffalo was in the red zone on the goal line. So hopefully that changes this upcoming week. and can negate some of Josh Allen's points if they run the ball, hopefully. Kareem Hunt in there on Monday night against the Saints. He gets the nod. As Chase Brown, I do not like this week against the Ravens, so we're going to roll with Hunt, who had a decent game last week. Maybe can take a step forward as the top running back for the team, hopefully. That's my hope. CeeDee Lamb on Sunday night against Pittsburgh. Not the greatest matchups, but it's CeeDee Lamb. Debo against Arizona. Kincaid against Houston. So that Buffalo-Houston game will be big for both of us. Adams, assuming he plays, but he's probably not going to play as he's wanting to be traded. So if he doesn't play, I'll probably throw in either trade Tucker or we'll have to
Adams
see.
ain't playing, by the way.
Yeah,
So-
I
Yeah, they announced he's not
they
playing.
already
Yeah.
ruled him out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll probably roll with Mr. Trey Tucker, who's had a good past 2 weeks. Seems like they put more focus on Jacoby Meyer and leave Tucker open, so probably roll with him. And Garrett Wilson Sunday morning against Minnesota, and Santos, the kicker I picked up against Carolina. Let's see. I think this is going to be a close matchup. Obviously, I'm just going to pick myself, but I do like some of Bill's players for this week. Hopefully, I can get some big games from my wide receivers that are playing. Hopefully, Garrett Wilson can have a bounce back game, although Minnesota's looked good this season. I'm going to take myself in a close one around 120 to 115-ish. Let's see. Pook, who's winning this matchup? Pook here? No? Okay, Rat.
She must be muted. I'm taking you.
Okay,
Um,
interesting.
actually, hold on. I probably should have thought of this better. Tie. You guys
Tie.
are tying. First tie of the year.
Okay, interesting.
Looks like an even matchup.
Ernie, who's winning?
Uh,
Any day, Ernie.
I say. All right, fuck. After that, I say Bill wins by 20.
All right, nice. Thank you. Is Pook back?
I'm here.
All right, who's winning between me and Bill?
Bill will win.
Okay. All righty, and Zach?
Bill by 20.
Bill by 20. Okay. Sense a theme here with maybe these picks. All right. Moving on to the second matchup of the week. We have Tyler versus Rat. This is going to be a big one for Tyler, although it does not look pretty based on the projections. Does he have his full lineup in? He does. Ooh. All right. Right now, Sleeper has Rat projected to win 117 to 101. Tyler doesn't want to fall to 1-4, but he's got a tough Rat team who just put up the most points this past week, so it's going to be tough for Tyler. He has Stroud. Rat has Stroud against Buffalo, Brian Robinson against Cleveland, Jordan Mason against Arizona, Nico Collins against Buffalo. We'll see if he can hit the 35-point mark this week. Olave on Monday night against Kansas City. Bowers in there against Denver. Lockett against the Giants. And Higgins against Baltimore and the Chiefs kicker on Monday night. Tyler has Geno Smith, so he's rocking with Geno against the Giants. Finally, I think Tyler chooses the right quarterback for this week, but we'll see. Ford against Washington. We'll see what happens with Chubb. Singletary against Seattle. We'll see with Singletary's injury if he's going to go. Does Tyler have... Tyler has Zamir White, who hasn't looked that great. He's got bye with St. Brown, so he does have a little bit of bye issues. Pittman in there against Jacksonville. Pickens, newly acquired against the Cowboys. Evan Ingram, we'll see if he plays. Joe Mixon, we'll see if he plays against Baltimore or against Buffalo. So we have some injury concerns for Tyler's team, some bye concerns. Rashid Shaheed on Monday night against Kansas City, and Greg the Leg on Monday night. Obviously, I'm going to take Rat in this one. I think he wins pretty handily. Tyler's team this week has got injury concerns with some guys. He's got a bye. His best player, Amon-Ra's on a bye. So it's not looking great for Tyler to pick up a win against a team who's looking on the upcoming come up in Rat's team after the big week last week and the trades he's made. So I think this is an easy one for Rat. Pook, who's winning?
I have sent a DM out to Tyler. If he doesn't respond, then Rat will win.
Okay. I have a feeling I know what's in that DM. All right. Ernie, who's winning this matchup?
Let's be honest. Like I said, Tyler's fighting for last place. Well, he's definitely gonna lose.
Okay.
It's gonna be Slaughter.
Yep. Okay.
My boy Rap.
Alrighty. Zach.
Fake rat. Slaughter.
Grant Slaughter. Okay. All right, and Rat. Everybody has picked you to win pretty handedly. Does that concern you at all?
No, Tyler is 1-4.
Oh. Okay.
And Pook, I know what your trade is. I can say it right now. It's
Oh.
Terry McLaurin and Chuba Hubbard for St. Brown.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't even offer a trade without one.
But yeah, Tyler, get ready for the beach, buddy.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure if Tyler's team looks bad again this week and he starts to lose, I'm sure there will be a lot of scavengers around Tyler trying to get St. Brown and some other players that are some of the few players that seem to be good this season for Tyler. But remember, everyone, Tyler got all the guys he wanted in the draft except one. I don't know if Tyler wants to keep hanging on that statement, as a lot of these guys he has on his team have not been.
Who was it? Who was that one?
I don't even know. You can ask Tyler. I don't remember who he
Oh,
said, but he
I thought
said he
you-
got everybody he
I
wanted in
know
the draft.
it was probably
but one guy.
fucking. Oh,
So,
I forget what he actually said. I think it was. He got his St. Brown, right? That's
we're
who
not
he
gonna go
always
through
wanted.
each pick, but yeah,
Good.
he said he got everyone besides one. But the whole point is he doesn't have too many guys popping off besides St. Brown. All right, moving on to the next matchup, we have another battle of 1-3s. This is a pretty big matchup. Matt 1-3 versus Zach 1-3. Obviously, we said the luck should turn around for Zach, hopefully. But Matt's team, after getting a win last week, we'll see if he can get another one. Right now, Sleeper has Matt projected to win 111 to 105. Matt has Fields against the Cowboys, Derrick Henry against Cincinnati, ETN in there against the Colts. We'll see if he plays. Colts haven't been the best, but ETN is in the Jacksonville has just been god awful. Diggs against Buffalo. Addison in there against the Jets. Mark Andrews against Cincinnati. It would only be with Zach's luck that Mark Andrews has a huge game, his first of the season. That might just crush Zach's soul. If he loses to Matt this week and Mark Andrews puts up like 20-some after having no points this whole season, that would hurt. Cooper in there against Washington. DJ Moore against Carolina should be pretty decent. And McPherson against Baltimore. On Zach's side, he has Lemar in there against Cincinnati, so both players have a lot from that game. With Henry and Lemar, we'll see which one runs better in the game. Jonathan Taylor. Zach, do you have Sermon?
Sure do.
Taylor ain't looking great. So
Yes, he
you
is.
might
He
be
is
throwing
looking great. I
Sermon in
sure
there.
do have Sermon in there.
Okay. Nick Chubb already in there, so we'll see if he comes back and plays against your Washington and how he looks.
Hit me up for Chubb trade,
Okay.
boy.
Tyreek Hill desperately wanting to go to the Chiefs. Zach is against New England, but he's still on Miami at the moment. Against New England, you would think, oh, great, beautiful game. But after this past week, even against Tennessee, there's no good games for Tyreek Hill with that quarterback situation. But maybe he'll become a Chief in the weekday. Jaden Reed in there against the Rams. Travis Kelce. Can we finally get the huge Travis Kelce game with nobody else to throw to besides Juju and Xavier Worthy? We'll see. Wan'Dale Robinson, who looked really great last week for Zach, in there against Seattle. Judy in the lineup against Washington, and Tucker against Cincinnati. So interesting matchup here. I think this one's going to be close. I think it's going to be close. Man. I kind of like the trade Matt did, but I am going to take Zach in a close one. Pook.
If there is one game for Stephon Diggs to put up 35, it is this week.
You bunch
So-
of that.
Jesus Christ.
So you're taking Matt? Okay.
I am taking that.
Rat?
I don't think Taylor or Chubb plays, and
Oh, go
after
for
that,
it.
I don't know what running back Zach is gonna have.
Dobbins on a bye, so
I
you do
have running
Justice
back
Hill.
available, Zach.
I'd
Justice
rather
Hill.
use a fucking
Um,
freshman high school team's running back.
Yeah, we'll throw Justin
But-
Hill in there and Sermon.
Like you said.
See, I
I
mean, he
think-
does have the better McCaffrey.
I think this is the one week Zach gets unlucky again, where it's Mark Andrews outscoring Travis Kelce.
Okay.
So what? It's got to be 4
So
points,
like,
3
yeah,
points.
4-3.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ernie. Who's winning? I think I know the
I
answer.
mean, we're questioning the Johnson Taylor, but we just got. I don't think Etienne's even playing. Does he have Tank Bixby?
I
'Cause
have Tank.
Matt, you better hit up fucking Poop,
He
because Tank is
would
Tank,
not
go probably.
playing.
Tank's
He'd
no,
go
Tank's
probably with
Tank's questionable
Swift.
too.
He'd probably go with
Which
Swift
sucks,
as
but
his running
I
back.
don't think Etienne's playing. I mean, Tyreek Hill's about to eat New England. That's a big matchup for the
Really?
Dolphins.
Eat
Yeah.
New England with their quarterback situation? I don't think that's
Yeah.
possible based on how they
Who the
looked this past week.
I mean, you want to bet? We could bet on that.
What is your definition of eat?
Ooh, Devontae Adams is not
He's
expected
getting
to
a
play.
touchdown. He's getting a
Touch-
touchdown, and he's getting at least 50 points, 50 yards.
So you're saying he's gonna get like 15 points? That's your definition of eat?
Go fuck yourself, Golfer.
My
At least.
definition of eat is like 25 plus.
You're just trying to
And
bait right
if
now.
you
Golfer.
want to
Don't
bet that
fall
he
Dude,
gets
for it.
25 plus,
plus.
I will bet that.
Are you gonna give me the odds? Because I could bet that on Bovada as
fall
well.
for
You were the
that.
one that asked me if you wanted to bet. I'm not a book. I'm not.
How
offering
do you
odds.
go from 12 points? He's projected to 25.
Well, you said he's gonna eat. Eat isn't 12 points. That's just his
Oh,
projection.
He's a little guy. He has a little stomach.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
compared to the previous weeks, 12 is eating. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Golfer, I have a
Yes,
question.
yes.
Devontae Adams is not playing this weekend. Who are you
Yes.
putting in?
Probably Trey Tucker, most likely. But we'll see.
Jesus Christ. Can I change my pick?
You already took Bill.
Can I take Bill again?
And don't knock Trey Tucker. The last 2 weeks he's popped
I'm
Give
not
up.
me
knocking
Bill.
Trey Tucker.
Give
I'm
me the
knocking
spread.
fact
Give
that
me
any-
Bill minus 25 points.
Golfer, you're
That
a
shit's
Broncos
free.
fan. You know any wide receiver against their team is gonna do shit.
Yes, but it's not a great matchup. I'll agree with that. But I'm hoping Jacoby Myers sees more of Surtain than Trey Tucker, and then Trey Tucker just gets some of the catches. It's not a great
still picking
matchup
Bill.
either. It's not a great matchup
My
either
boy
way,
Zach
but
is
I
winning.
gotta play him. I mean, I don't have any other really wide receiver to play. So
Well, what about your boy Chase Brown?
I could play Chase Brown, but he's got a horrible matchup. So, but we'll see. I'll make that decision later in the week. All right, back to this matchup. Who did I skip? Did I get everybody besides Zach?
Right.
Oh, Rat.
Right.
I
Choose
said
wires.
Matt.
Bro.
I said Matt.
Oh, you're a
okay.
bitch.
What?
I just don't see Taylor and Chubb playing.
Oh, yeah,
Huh,
he
That's
have
what
a
I
great day at work, buddy.
And
All
he was
right,
Dobby's
so
on a
Ernie
bye.
picked.
With your favorite coworker.
Ernie picked
Okay.
Zach. I picked Zach. Zach, are you winning this week against Matt to get yourself to 2-3?
Yes.
Would you say that if you lose this matchup, you may be severely, severely depressed going forward?
I'm already severely depressed after that matchup.
I put him in
Last
depression.
Okay. All right. But you are going to win. You're
Yes.
not tying. Okay.
No.
All right. Moving on to the next one. We have Cheese at 4-0 versus Slaps at 1-3. Another big week for Slaps after his trades. Let's see if he can come out on top
Projected
and
99.
get a win over Cheese. Does
99.
he have a full lineup in there?
Can I
Yes,
play
he has a
Slack?
full lineup. 99. Oh no.
Can we not?
Well,
Can we
he's
not
got-
make fun
who
of
does he have
projections,
anyone on
please?
bye?
He's for Laporta.
Laporta,
it.
that's it. Really? So who is he starting? That's
And Herbert.
so low.
He starts Burrow anyways.
He
Lazard is
picked up
projected
Schultz
7.
to start Schultz. And
Lazard, really.
He's starting Lazard over Dunze against Carolina. Interesting decision. Oh, and Stevenson. Yeah. All right, 99 to 112. So Cheese projected the favorite by Sleeper. Cheese has obviously Jaden Daniels, who he says is QB1 now against Cleveland. We'll see after a bad week this week if he flip-flops back. Zach Moss in there against Baltimore. It's going to be Chase Brown in the future, but Zach Moss still gets quite a bit of the workload at the moment. But not for long, Zach Moss. Hopefully he gets injured this week. Achane against New England. So he's got Achane. Can we get an Achane sighting? You know, ever since Cheese made that bet, the last 2 weeks, Achane's single digits. Yikes. Evans in there against Atlanta tomorrow night to get Cheese started. Mooney in there as well, so he's got 2 Thursday night wide receivers. Kittle against Arizona. Shakir in there against Houston. DK Metcalf against the Giants. Seibert, the kicker for Washington against Cleveland. So Cheese does have bye, obviously, with both his Detroit boys, who have been monsters this year, both on bye. So he does have that to navigate around. So Slaps maybe has a chance. Burrow against Baltimore. Stevenson against Miami. The problem for Slaps is going to be, does he start Stevenson or does he start Gibson? That's going to be the tough decision to make on if they bench him or how that goes. Najee Harris against Dallas on Sunday night. Lazard, as we already talked about, against Minnesota. I think I'd prefer Dunze, but we'll see what Slaps does. Christian Kirk against the Colts. Schultz, who he picked up with report on by. Harrison against the 49ers. Newly acquired Ayuk against Arizona. Maybe Ayuk can have a big game for once. And Koo on Thursday, so they both have a Thursday night player. I think Cheese is just destined to lose at some point, so I'm going to go out on a limb. And okay, who's that going? Zach? Is that Zach? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to predict that Slaps pulls off a massive upset this week against Cheese and gives him his first loss of the year out of nowhere. I don't know how it's going to happen, but somehow it's going to happen. All right, Pook, who's winning?
I would not be shocked if Cheese doubled Slaps total this week.
Okay.
Slaps as a team is that bad.
So I'm assuming you're picking Cheese.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Fake Rat.
Unless Slap changes half his lineup, Cheese is winning.
Changes half his lineup to who? Or you mean in
I mean, we're playing Lazard over your Dunze, who you have praised for the last couple weeks.
He's only doing that because Dunze laid a dud last week.
Yeah. But
Slaps only goes off of last week. Yeah, Slaps only goes off of last week when he evaluates his players. If they have a horrible last week, they go to the bench.
I think Cheese will struggle in the future with the Rice injury, but I think this week he gets away with it and he's 5-0.
Okay. Ernie.
I know how I said Slaps won on that trade.
Mm-hmm.
How is this team still this shit?
Yeah, where does half those players?
I don't know how he won that trade.
I mean, to be fair, he brought in Ayuk and Harrison as wide receivers, and before this, he had AJ Brown hurt. So, I mean, the problem is the rest of his lineup.
I'm gonna go out and say both his running backs, Najee and Stevenson, do not get 10 points combined.
Ooh, okay.
Holy shit. Poor Marvin.
I thought it was a
You're
little
taking
better.
Cheese.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel bad for Marvin Harris. Holy shit! Oh my god, that poor guy.
Okay.
Holy shit.
All right, I think we get it. All right, and Zach.
That is a pile of shit. Oh
There's
my
no
god.
way- There's no way Cheese loses on a Jewish holiday.
Okay.
Shut up, buddy.
Alrighty.
all I
Cheese
got
did
to
make some comments, which I guess I'll read now. He said, on my matchup, good trade by Slaps. I have my Detroit boys on bye, but some solid bench guys in Moss and Shakir. Rice maybe not out for the year, so he's trying to give that hope and pray of Rice being okay. But Achane has been shaky, but hopefully against my shitty Pats defense, being 4-0 allows me. Jesus, he sent me this long
You said
list.
comments or a fucking essay,
Yeah,
bro?
he put in quotation
Jesus,
marks.
bro,
Being
just don't
4-0
read it.
allows me to wait on Tua's return. So he's trying to say he's not panicking about Achane. He'll just wait it out. Maybe he can at least get a touchdown this week. I will start the right QB this week. Kyler is not seeing my lineup until Daniels dies. Also, maybe I finally get a kicker for some points. Picking myself. For other matchups, I'm taking Rat, Matt, Golfer, Pusa, only quote in quotation marks, only because Ernie's on bye, and Pook.
Wow. Fuck
Fuck
you,
that
Cheese.
guy.
Can I say that I
bitch.
thought Cheese was going to be less quiet at the show? That was an essay.
Golfer, I'd like to change my pick.
Okay.
We need to see that.
So joining me with slaps.
Yep, I think
Nice.
Cheese,
Not the
the
only
injury wagon continues,
Uh-huh.
and his whole starting lineup falls in the first quarter of the game, and he breaks
Okay.
the record. He'll score like 20
Ooh,
points.
will
Slaps
he
will
break
score
his own
40
record?
Yep, Slaps will score 45 points, and he'll win.
Okay. Alrighty. All right. Moving on to the next matchup. This is a massive one. Ernie at 3-1 versus Pusa at 1-3. Can Pusa get a win, or can Ernie send Pusa into further depression and help all of us? Anybody that has a bet with Pusa is a big Ernie fan this week. Huge Ernie fan this week. Go on, Ernie lad. Although sleeper, what do you not have? What's going on with these lineups? Everybody's in there.
Look at the
95
flex.
to
Look
97.
at the flex.
Who's the flex? Oh, Miles Sanders? Is this a troll lineup?
This is Bipocalypse right now.
What the fuck, Ernie? Oh my god, we just got done talking about Slaps' lineup, and then
I
you're
got
rolling out
biased.
this?
I
Ernie,
have a buy and it's still
DM
better
for trade.
lineup.
DM for
Oh
trade.
my god. Oh my. If Pusa can't win this week, then he really should.
Nope. We'll make
Pusa
sure
has a
Pusa
lot of
doesn't
buys
win,
as
buddy.
well, so Hurts and Pollard, Goddard. Oh my god, this whoever wins this matchup is probably winning like 80 to 70, maybe. Mahomes
We will
on Monday.
make sure Pusa doesn't win.
Ernie has Mahomes against the Saints on Monday night. He needs a big Mahomes night. Kamara on Monday night, so this matchup's probably come down to Monday night, just like Ernie's did last week
I
with
just went
Zombie.
45
No
to
comment.
42.
Kyron Williams against Green Bay. Tank Dell against Buffalo. Juju in there on Monday night as well. Good God. Thursday night Pitts. Zach,
Oh
you're still
my
echoing.
God, no.
Against Tampa Bay tomorrow night. Really, Miles Sanders, you don't. Ugh. Oh my God.
Yeah, look at that fucking Bipocalypse, buddy.
Miles Sanders though, like, does he even play?
Yeah,
I guess
so
he does
back up.
play. He's at 11 and 7. Okay, I guess he can get maybe 5 points. Braylon Allen on Sunday morning against Minnesota, and Aubrey on Sunday night against Pittsburgh. Ernie has like no 1 o'clock on Sunday. Nobody except Tank Dell, I guess. Jesus Christ. On Pusa's side, Deshaun Watson against Washington. Pusa, what in
He
the...
has Hurts. He has Hurts on that.
I know, but
he has
you can't pick up a
Rodgers.
different quarterback
That
besides
shit is
He has
Deshaun.
Rodgers on his bench.
Pusa,
What is with his
trust
fascination
Deshaun.
with Cleveland Browns? He drafted
Prove
Deshaun
them
Watson
wrong,
last
Pusa.
year.
Do not switch them out. Prove them wrong.
Oh my God. I mean, I guess he's putting up
Great
the
pick,
same
Pusa.
numbers as some other average quarterbacks this year, but god damn, he's so bad.
I fucking dropped Watson.
Newly acquired Rashad White on Thursday against, so both players have Thursday night. McLaughlin against the Raiders. Deontay Johnson against Chicago.
McLaughlin.
Yeah. He's not starting his boy Tyson Chandler or Zeke. I can't believe he's not starting Rodgers against
Oh, yeah,
Minnesota,
Zeke
to
is
be honest. Pusa, you are a fake Rodgers fan. You're starting a freaking
Facts.
massage rapist over Aaron Rodgers, who you
Accused.
love. Jamar Chase against Baltimore. Pat Freiermuth had a big week last week against Dallas. Could be decent. Zay Flowers newly acquired against Cincinnati. We'll see if he has a monster game after getting nothing last week. Waddle against New England. I don't like that at all, obviously, because it's of the quarterback. And Fairbairn against Buffalo. Oh God! You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Tie. I can't even try to figure out who the fuck's gonna
I'd
win.
take a tie.
This
Wow.
these lineups are just so crazy. Maybe Ernie's top like 4 guys can just outscore all of Pusa's team. I think if you're Ernie, that's your hope, that your 4 big boys that are playing, and maybe Schmooster gets something. I mean, really, the only big boy for Pusa is Chase and maybe Flowers. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna take Ernie. Because I want Ernie to win, and I just think he has more bigger players playing than what Pusa has this week, so I'm going to take Ernie. Pook.
Oh God.
This matchup is so hard to predict when it's this shit on both sides.
I think the stack for Ernie's gonna pop off for 40 points combined, and that's gonna be the difference in this game.
So the Mahomes to Juju.
Mahomes a TikTok boy.
Yeah. Okay. Rat.
Well, this is hard. You got Pusa with Rashawn shit and Jaleel Pitts at running backs. You got fucking Miles Sanders at flex, and you got
a rapist at quarterback.
Wide receiver 1, I guess, Juju Smith-Schuster. The thing is, I think Ernie's kicker can outscore about 3 of the team combined. So I'm taking Ernie. I think but I'm taking like a 70 to 60 victory.
Okay. Zach.
My boy Ernie ain't losing 2 weeks in a row.
Okay. All right. Did Pusa? I think Pusa might have sent me something earlier. No, he didn't.
Fuck Pusa.
I was gonna see how he was gonna try to.
It was the worst lineup though. Slaps, Ernie, or
Oh,
fucking.
Oh, I know. I think Slots'
Pusa.
lineup is better than Pusa's for this week. All right, and then the final matchup of the week, obviously a big time rivalry here.
Why you didn't ask Ernie?
Oh,
never
yeah,
got
sorry.
Ernie's comment.
Ernie, are you gonna pull this shit show out? I mean, listen, if you're gonna have all these buys, at least you're facing somebody that also has buys and has a shit lineup, so it gives you a 50-50 chance to win.
Look, I am gonna shit on Pusa.
Okay.
I'm not dropping nothing less than 120 points. I'm telling you that right now.
Wow. From who?
I will be. What do you mean from who? 30
Like,
from
who's scoring your
Kamara, 30
point?
from Kyron,
Okay.
20 from Mahomes. That's 80. Another fucking 20 from my Jackson
Mahomes
Mahomes.
hasn't got
the
20 all
TikToker.
year, so when is he getting? He's gonna get 20 this week against the Saints.
This gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be like a 45 to 43
Okay.
game right there. My boy, the TikToker, is gonna drop at least 15. We're gonna get prime Miles Sanders from the Eagles this week. He's dropped another 15 points. It's gonna be a blowout.
Okay.
Brees
Alright.
Hall's gonna get hurt.
Hmm.
My boy Brandon's gonna prove himself, and I'm not losing to the fucking massage parlor boy over there. I refuse to lose.
Okay.
And I am working a trade with a certain individual in this party tonight. That might get done.
Alright, well,
Well,
we all know if that doesn't get done tonight, it ain't getting done. So good luck. All right, now moving on to the last matchup, and it's obviously the big rivalry one: Zombie versus Pook. Battle of 4-0 versus 2-2. I'm sure a lot of people would like to see Pook knock off Zombie and give him his first loss on the year. See if he can do it. Right now, Sleeper projecting Pook to win slightly, 115 to 113. Pook has Caleb Williams in there against Carolina, so not going with Darnold Trump this week, huh? Wow. Caleb in there against Carolina. Bijan Robinson tomorrow night to get him started against Tampa Bay. Josh Jacobs against the Rams. JJ in there still, though, against the Jets on Sunday morning over the pond. Keenan Allen against Carolina, so he's got the Williams to Allen. Ferguson in there against Pittsburgh on Sunday night. Chuba Hubbard after his big game. We'll see if it's a Miles Sanders like Ernie's predicting or if Chuba continues to dominate. Scary Terry against Cleveland, and Moody, who is nicknamed Pusa, against Arizona. On Zombie side, Prescott on Sunday night against Pittsburgh. Tougher defensive matchup, and Prescott has not been as great this season. Brees Hall on Sunday morning, so they both have Sunday morning players. So he's got both running backs in that Sunday morning game. God damn, Zombie's gonna have to wake up really early if he wants to watch his players play. Drake London tomorrow night, so they both have the Thursday night player. Malik Neighbors, we'll see if he plays. He's still in that concussion protocol against Seattle. Njoku, we'll see if he makes his return back against Washington. Jawan Jennings in there, so Zombie rolling with Jawan Jennings against Arizona. Brian Thomas in there against the Colts, and Boswell on the Sunday night game. Just looking real quick at these lineups. Zombie just doesn't really have anyone on bye. Noteworthy. Pook has Goff on bye, and that's it. Okay. Oh, I am going to take Pook this week. I like some of his players' matchups a little bit better. I like that he's rolling with Caleb Williams, I think. I like that. But I think the bottom half of Pook's lineup with McLaurin and Jefferson and Ferguson, I think they're all going to have big games. And I don't quite know about Jawan Jennings this week. And Njoku, who knows what happens with him coming back, and if Neighbors plays. If Neighbors plays, I think Zombie has a chance. But I'm going to take Pook. In a close battle, though. Decent scoring, like 120 to 130 something. Rat, who's winning?
Zombie in his first loss of the year.
Zombies
Neighbors
wins
ain't
first loss?
playing,
Okay.
and he'll struggle finding somebody
Yeah,
to replace him.
He'll have to
And,
roll
yeah.
with either Likely or
And
maybe Rico Dowell. I don't know.
Bijan will finally tomorrow. So yeah,
Okay. Ernie, who's winning?
Oh shit, my bad. Pook's gonna win.
Pook, okay. Zach?
This is a tie.
Tie. Wow, is that the first one of the week? Tie, nice.
First one ever.
Oh, okay, we'll see. All right, Pook, are you going to get the better of Zombie again, or is he going to go to 5-0?
Easy win.
Easy win. Wow. Okay. I'm feeling confident about your team then, huh? Wow. All right, there we have it. Good luck to everybody in week 5 on that. All right.